Hello my gorgeous people, this is your weekly horoscope tarot card focus for all 12 signs of zodiac, and it's in between the 18th and the 24th of October 2021. So this weekly horoscope tarot card focus is of course for all 12 signs of zodiac, and it's in between the 18th and the 24th of October 2021. And I'm going to start with my gorgeous Aries, of course. So this is in between the 18th and the 24th of October 2021, and it's for Aries. Now the first card is Seven of Swords. Now this is really important week for you to establish exactly what is stopping you or what is preventing you to move on, but at the same time you most certainly need to have your eyes open, and you need to be very careful who do you kind of like completely come out to when it comes to maybe saying things that are a little bit secret, or maybe saying things that are concerning only you. But at the same time, it's also rather important for you to understand that there is a certain plan, something that you want to do, something that you are trying to achieve. King of Pentacles is second one. Something that you are trying to achieve. You need to understand that you do have everything that you need in order to move on. So this is the part of the little challenge that you are going to have this week, my gorgeous Aries. The problem is that you are kind of going to come to this particular moment where you will want to express yourself, you will want to extend your life, you will want to go on the next step, but almost immediately something is going to be holding you down, something is going to be preventing you to move on. But what you need to understand that you have absolutely everything in order to achieve this desired outcome, or in order to achieve the next step of your life. This is pretty much so to do with the next step of your life, but you do have a bit of like a kind of like also at the same time warning when it comes to the actual conflict. So this is really important. You need to understand that, you know, very important this week indeed. A lot is gonna come on your mind when it comes to like planning. Suddenly you're gonna find yourself in a very kind of interesting element, and that in itself is going to boost your energy. It's going to at the same time boost your self-esteem, but it's also going to boost your courage. Now these three things are absolutely super relevant and super important when it comes to having the necessary balance in order to take things on the next level. But at the same time you are going to be challenged by certain people, so this is something that you need to remember. Please don't take things to heart or anything like that, but you know, these challenges that you are going to have, it's all part of the process. What you need to understand is that through every single like maybe person that you talk to this week, or every single like a person that you come across this week, you know, at the same time, you know, there are gonna be people that are actually gonna be challenging you. You need to kind of stick to yourself, you need to follow your intuition, and you need to stay true to yourself as well, because this type of people that are gonna be kind of, it could only be one person, but this type of person that is actually going to be challenging you this week, you just need to remember, can you hear it? Important. This person or these people are going to be challenging you. You just need to remember to rise above it, because you just must not respond to it in exactly the same way. The reason why is you need to rise above that particular challenge, and when you rise above that particular challenge, there is also going to be really interesting reward for you by the end of the week, which is going to come through as in form of the actual opportunity. This is so important for you to remember. So if anybody is challenging you this week, all you need to do, all your job is to kind of have a smile on your faces if you possibly can, and just understand that out of it, couple of days later, something very important is going to come to you, something very interesting is going to come to you, the option, an opportunity, realization. You know, it's almost like a very powerful karmic reward that is actually going to follow that particular situation. So this is important. So in a nutshell, you know, you have everything that you need in order to move on. As soon as you, when I say in order to move on. You know, this can be something really tiny, or this can be something really massive, enormous. It really depends on your current like a progress, and it depends on what you have achieved so far. It depends on what you are focusing on, but you just need to remember that, you know, you are actually gonna have one of the biggest achievements that you had in a long time if you actually get this right, because most certainly it's about the inspiration that it's actually going to come out of it and guide you when you need it the most. Okay, so this week is really important when it comes to you, my gorgeous Aries, my gorgeous Aries, when it comes to the actual next step of your life. And this is your oracle card. Okay, ignite your passion for life. So you need to understand that, you know, the power and you projecting your energy, it's going to go a long way. So this oracle card is so perfectly going with these cards, tarot cards that I already took out for you, because it also showing that you are going to have desired effect when you respond to people, when you talk to people. That's on one hand, but on another hand, so you will be able to achieve a lot through that way. But on another hand, when it comes to your personal projection, as soon as, you know, you're gonna have a few different points where you're gonna just really find yourself to thinking about your future. So this is an important card which is showing you that you are gonna have the necessary power when it comes to the actual manifestation. This week will be very important when it comes to the next step for you, my gorgeous Aries, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious Taurus, my beautiful Taurinis. Let's just shuffle this Tarotini Cardini. Let's just shuffle this tarot cards. Now this one came out like Ace of Cups. Absolutely fantastic, beautiful. So this is something to pay attention to, this Ace of Cups, my gorgeous Taurus. Very important indeed, because it looks like you are going to have an absolutely perfect balance when it comes to your spirituality, when it comes to your mind, when it comes to your intelligence, when it comes to your intelligence, when it comes to your planning. You know, there is a lot gonna come to you. Now you've got a Five of Wands here as well. Now, you know, just remember that there is a very challenging situation going to arise this week, and do not put this off whatsoever. You need, on one hand, you need to kind of like you need to show your skills, you need to show yourself, you need to be part of the picture, you know, and then on another hand, you know, in order for you to make the most of the current path that you are on, there is going to be the moment where you're going to realize this week what you need to do in order to kind of like take things further in your life. It's rather challenging situation that it's going to arise, that it's also going to involve other people. You should be there and you should be part of it. It's almost like, you know, that's why I'm saying that, you know, it is you being like a part of the, like a certain competition or like a challenging situation where other people are going to be involved, not necessarily the competition, but where other people are going to be involved. So this is really important also when it comes to like you having a very strong internal power, which is going to be shining really brightly throughout this week. So whether you're going to be aware of the situation that, you know, you're gonna be like kind of like maybe like competing with some other people, but or literally, or it's just like you need to understand that you are going to be like a pretty much so like very your energy will be very strong, so people will be noticed. You will be watched this week, my gorgeous Taurinis. No need to get paranoid, but you will be watched this week like there is no tomorrow. And now make the most of it. Okay, you may be aware of it, you may not be aware of it, but this is an excellent time to prove your point to people around you, but also at the same time to like do as much as you can. And you may not even be watched by anybody, you could be just by yourself at home, don't get me wrong. Okay, you could be just by yourself, but you just need to understand it doesn't matter if like people are watching, if you are part of the group where is some kind of like a challenging situation taking place where you're competing with others. No, baby, no. It doesn't matter. Maybe you can be by yourself, but you just need to understand that your own essence, your own spirituality is just going to be going like, it's going to have a ripple effect through the actual universe. So what you're doing, it's going to get back to you 100 times. So that's why focus on things that you want to do, focus on things that you want to achieve, and you're going to be mind blown by the end of the week what is actually going to happen, because some kind of offer, some kind of opportunity is going to come out of it, and this is purely through this particular energy that you have been actually doing. You see this? It's basically 8 of coins. Just remember to stay committed to the task at hand. This is so important. Whatever you're doing, my gorgeous Taurinis, there is going to be the challenge that you are going to have. And the challenge that you are going to have is just going to like keep on stealing your own energies, keep on to be taking your energy towards this way, but you should go towards that way. So just remember that you are very, very close to the actual certain breakthrough. So it's all about the accomplishment that it's going to come out of it, but you need to remember to stay true to yourself and stay committed to the task at hand at the same time, because this week is going to be super relevant when it comes to your own promotion, you know, but not necessarily to do with work, but it's to do with your life. So just remember, this is very important indeed. And on another hand is the balance. Absolutely superb balance you have. Something is going to become absolutely obvious to you this week, and this is going to give you an idea, something that, you know, it's going to surprise you. You're going to find it quite mind-blowing, you know, the way people can be, what people can do is to do with other people, you know, but then again at the same time it's going to be brilliant to you, because it's going to give you like the confirmation that you needed in order to make the necessary change when it comes to your life as well. So it's a very, very perfect balance here that I'm seeing, my gorgeous Taurinis, this week, you know. And living light energy, see the beauty in life. Try to do things that are making you feel good. Try to do things that are making you feel alive. Try to think about the balance as well. The balance in your life is very important. I think that you have been worrying for quite a lot. You have been worrying for quite a while. So now just try to like kind of like think like which parts of your life are making you feel good, which parts of your life are making you feel happy. Maybe you will want to kind of like go and connect and reconnect with the nature. Maybe you will want to meditate a little bit. Whatever you're doing while you're relaxing yourself, there is going to be a very special spiritual reward that you are going to have at the same time. They're going to be coming to you all sorts of clever, intelligent, very powerful and very significant insights that are literally going to be out of this world. And it's going to happen, it's going to come to you every single time when you are relaxing, chilling out, meditating, maybe in the forest. So this is why this balance is really important, you know. Very big answer, it's actually going to come to you. So just remember that, my gorgeous Taurinis. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Gemini, my gorgeous Gemini. You know, my God, this week a lot is going to be happening. I'm already channeling like your energy like there is no tomorrow, because you have been waiting for something in, oh, here we go, Ace of Cups again, absolutely unbelievable. You have been like waiting for something very important, you know, to achieve for the next step, but then next stage of your life. But then, you know, there was so much happened, and you started with a certain process of planning, and you were doing just so great, but then again you had to change things a little bit. And it's nothing to do with you, it's nothing to do with your personal like life, it's nothing to do with what you have done, but it's to do with lots of other things that were happening, you know, around you in the world that you didn't have nothing to do with, but it affected you and it affected your life and affected your way of planning. So now this made you like a little bit stuck, but it also affected your Five of Wands like amazingly. You know, it affected your way of planning, but also it affected like, you know, your path in such a way where you felt like that you can't prove yourself, you know. Maybe there are not enough people around you for you to prove yourself and things like that. So this most certainly affected you, my gorgeous Gemini. So now this is a really important week, because things are going to start moving on for you. Very, very significant when it comes to you expressing yourself. Please try to like also do as much as you can, but do not ignore the certain part of you. Something around you, something about you, something within you is screaming to come out. There is a specific part of yourself that you are just keeping in, but you need to take it on the next level. You need to understand, my gorgeous Gemini, that every single one of us in this world, on this earth, is like here with a certain message. We are all connected like there is no tomorrow. Of course that we are, but we are all having a specific spiritual journeys, and sometimes we just don't allow ourselves to actually be ourselves, and this is where the problem arises. And and this is when we tend to kind of block ourselves, and this is when we tend to kind of slow ourselves down a little bit. There is a specific part of yourself that just will really kind of make itself like very obvious to you this week, that you need to pay attention to it. At some moment in time, you know, in the past, you know, you were aware of it, you were thinking about it a lot, you were maybe even dreaming about it a lot, doing something, making something, expressing yourself in a certain way. But this is important because it's a part of an integral part of your spiritual journey, and it's also almost immediately going to help you to reconnect and connect with yourself again, because we have like the Eight of Cups here, and this is all about the actual discontinuance of the certain effort, because something is slowly coming to an end. You know, the certain part, the certain plan you need to change. It is not good, mama, this one. You see, this certain plan needs to change indeed. So something will come to an end. You know, so far you have been planning, you have been thinking, you have been focusing on a specific part of your life, maybe over the last 24 months indeed. But something you need to change. Something maybe you a little bit rushed into it and it just wasn't for you. So you need to see which part of your life actually slowly coming to an end. This is really important, but it's also bringing a brilliant balance. And also on another hand, you know, just pay attention to the actual inspiration that you are going to have this week, my gorgeous Gemini. Like, it's very, very important inspiration, because that it's in itself going to help you to deal with a rather devilish person. You know, the confirmation about someone devilish, the confirmation about someone devilish, like a beyond being devilish, and it's nothing to do with your life necessarily, but that in itself is going to open your eyes even more. And it's important because you will realize your own power, and you will realize your own strength, and you will realize that your balance is absolutely perfect. You know, it's a strong enough in order to kind of sometimes you just have to tiny little bit swim against the currents. And this is exactly the realization that you're going to have. You're going to become aware of someone very devilish, but then again at the same time you're not going to be completely surprised about it. But this is going to be superb for you, because it's going to also be beneficial for you when it comes to like a focusing on the certain part of life that was anywhere like making you really frequently too restrained, and purely because it slowly came to an end. And this is all going to be connected indeed. So now, my gorgeous Gemini, I'm just going to see what is going to be an oracle card of for this particular week. Ignite your passion for life. Okay, this is also like, it also means that you are going to have really important balance, you know, when it comes to your personal projection. It's a lot to do about you actually, you know, like you're going to find yourself a lot, you see, astral travel, caution needed. You're going to find yourself like quite a lot, you know, planning and thinking, and suddenly, you know, because the blockages are going to be like a little bit removed, but at the same time, it's so important, don't think negative. Be very open-minded. It's just so important. Sometimes people don't understand our own power when it comes to our subconscious mind, and how easily we can block ourselves from moving on. You need to take this as the actual blessings rather than anything else. So you are going to find yourself like a lot, like kind of focusing on the future, and also you're going to find yourself being rather brave. But at the same time, there is just like a tiny little warning to try to not to go too far. Okay, just remember, one step at a time, my gorgeous Gemini. It's more important than ever. Okay, so now I'm just going to see what is going to happen to our gorgeous Cancerini. Hello. See this little kitty? Okay, so now before I do Cancerini, I'm gonna have a little sip of tea. My God, so good. Can you see it? Cancerini, can you see everybody else who's watching? It's only a chamomile, but I absolutely love chamomile. It's like a chamomile with like the actual organic maple syrup, and it's with a lemon. Organic and waxed lemon, of course. Okay, so now my gorgeous Cancerini, Cancerini, you need to pay attention to also, very important for you, when it comes to nutrition. I'm feeling nutrition before I even start this reading, so it's pretty much so a lot to do with you making sure that you're taking some kind of like above all, vitamin D, very important, natural vitamin D3. Even if you're in the sun every day, it doesn't really matter. Just try to make sure that you're taking natural vitamin D, and also try to take something like a natural calcium, because your bones are going to be quite sensitive. I can feel, I can sense sensitive bones. So try to get something like a natural vitamin D3 and a natural calcium as well. You're going to find this quite beneficial, my gorgeous Cancerini, indeed. Okay, if you're on any other medications, if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor or GP. Only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. And you, my gorgeous Cancerini, you're also like going to have like very much so a beautiful inspiration that is going to come through this week, but also the balance that you have been waiting for such a long time, it's about to return. Remember that you're actually going to have a very interesting message, very important news and very important message. Now this message is going to almost immediately reflect on you, because that message that you're going to have is going to be so beneficial and so important, and you were worrying about like there is no tomorrow. My Lord, you were worrying about this particular specific subject, what this message is actually going to be about, and this drain your energy like so much, to the point where you kind of like a very much so found yourself stuck, and it very much so affected your planning, it affected your way of thinking, it affected your way of it affected your self-esteem. You know, it just really touched, you know, so many different like subjects, and it touched certain nerves, you know, within you, and that really affected you. So now this was so important to you, but it's also at the same time to do with a big massive giant justice to you. This is going to be such a justice, because you know you feel something very personal about this as well at the same time, but it's in itself, it's very important to mention and say that it's just going to reflect on your courage, it's going to reflect on your balance, and it's going to almost immediately put a big smile on your face. And I really like this, because there is going to be a very much so strong sense of like that you want to do something very specific, and you are just going to start feeling very passionate about, and you know this is also going to come with just a little like a spiritual note, you know, connected to the actual karma. So you need to kind of act on it almost immediately. You need to pay attention to it almost immediately if you possibly can. And you know, also on one hand you need to remember to have a patience, but on another hand, you know, it's all about the actual balance that you are going to have. I also see what is very important here, that you know karmically you have done something really beautiful for somebody, or maybe even a couple of people, and this is also going to come back. And very interesting that this is going to happen at a time when the karma in itself is going to be very highlighted. This is going to be superb, and it's also kind of going to give you the certain idea. So you are actually again like going to give something to someone. This is important. I know it sounds like really bizarre as well. So first of all, karmically something is going to come back to you beautifully, something that you helped to someone so much when you gave something to someone. But on another hand, it's very important to try to actually there is someone that needs something so from you, very much so. Someone needs a little bit of your help, my gorgeous Cancerini, and this is so important for you to understand, you know, because it's to do with you kind of expressing yourself in a certain way, but also on another hand, and you have got a very important message, very important information when it comes to that person. So this is quite significant time for you. Indeed. And then on another hand, you know, the power and your intuition is going to reveal something to you, and it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. It looks like that you are going to change your mind slightly, but this is also on another hand very important, because it's going to show you the exact part of your life where you should be actually dedicated towards, the exact part of your life that you should be dedicated towards, and it's going to come from like a deep within. Your intuition will be very very strong, your intuition will be very powerful, and then at the same time it's all about the serene knowledge. You know what I want you to understand, that the spiritually you will be rather penetrated throughout this week, and that means that, you know, it's gonna be pointed to you exactly by the end of the week which part of your life really you need to kind of pay attention to, because it's too frequently making you too restrained. And as soon as you realize this, something rather analytical is going to take place that you're gonna need to do. You know, it's to do with you being rather practical, but also at the same time being analytical. It's going to be so important, which means that throughout this week, just first of all, try to see how you feel about things like what is going to come to you, but at the same time remember, one step at a time, and be analytical as well. It's rather important. You know, and also like a very kind of significant hidden emotion, it's gonna come to the surface, my gorgeous Cancerini. Very important hidden emotion that you should not ignore, because it's just certainly the quite it's connected to the timing, realization, and also that the timing is critical when it comes to that certain emotion that I said. You know, just remember that the timing is going to be critical. So suddenly something that you have been keep on living behind, now suddenly through the power of your own illumination you will realize this. And also having such a wonderful balance when it comes to the actual being so spiritual, you know, it's just all about you realizing that the timing is critical, and you will know exactly what this is. You know, perhaps the situation that could like a little bit like make you feel like, oh no, it's not critical, or you know, you've got plenty of time, left, blah blah blah. No baby, no. Follow your own light, follow your own third psychic eye, and you will be absolutely fine. You do not live this life for other people, you live this life for yourself. Okay, so if you want to do something, you just do it. Okay, and even if you're uncertain, even if it's so much of the unknown, if you don't jump in the water, you will never learn how to swim, my gorgeous Cancerini. So now it's time to jump in the water, baby. Okay, and now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Leo. You know, Leo, this is important, my gorgeous Leonis, because you're about to learn a very significant message, you know, but at the same time very significant page of wands you have here. Okay, so you're going to learn a very important message prior this week, and this is so significant. It's not necessary. Let me just let Coco out. Sorry, come Coco. You going out? There you go. So you're gonna learn, sorry Leonis, you're gonna learn like a very significant, like a lesson, you know, but that lesson, it's not something that is gonna completely surprise you. It's just something that you have been waiting for. It's to do with a certain process. It's to do maybe with a certain process of justice in a very much so certain way, and you've been waiting for like a maybe like a positive outcome, but the outcome is not going to be as positive. It may, but then again, you're not gonna be completely surprised about it. But the point is that this is actually going to turn out to be quite good for you, because there is a very important lesson that you will learn out of it, and that lesson is more like a confirmation, very strong, mind-blowing, big mama, powerful confirmation. And if you didn't have this confirmation, you would kind of like really be part of the very dangerous situation in your life later on, especially when it comes to the period and the stage in between the January and March 2022. So this is very important when it comes to you, and when it comes to you doing the right thing and making a very important adjustment when it comes to the future planning. You're also going to learn, my gorgeous Leonis, exactly who you can kind of like open up yourself to and who to be rather careful about. So we've got a page of wands here. Okay, so the next card, my gorgeous Leonis, is Knight of Wands. Like unbelievably good, brilliant. So now it's time for action whatsoever. Okay, you are gonna have a very important information, realization and news this week, and it's very significant time for you also to understand that the more you do this week, the more you're gonna achieve. The more you do this week, the more rewarded you're gonna be. The more energy you project towards your projects, the more you're actually going to have. And needless to say that by the time you actually get to the last part, to the last day of this week, just pay attention, my gorgeous Leonis, pay attention, because the that you will see something, and not only that you're going to have an idea out of that mind-blowing idea, but that is almost immediately going to provide you with the actual shortcut for something so messy and so difficult and so unusual and so uncertain. So pay attention, because this will be big. Pay attention, because this will be brilliant. And then on another hand, you know, it's all about the acceptance. You need to remember, you know, that you are going to feel a little bit negatively, just a little bit negative, purely because you know, it is just like that you're going to hear something and you're not going to be too delighted about it. You know, this is emotionally going to bring just a little bit of confusion, but then again, at the same time, the sooner you accept, the easier you're going to be able to move on. So this is really, really important to actually say. It's all about a certain acceptance, you know. So when you're when you come across like a little news that, oh my God, it's just going to kind of blow you away a little bit, you know, it's going to bring a little bit of emotional confusion, just understand, you know, it's not that bad, it's not that negative, it's all about a certain acceptance. These things, you know, tend to happen one after another in our lives when we reach kind of like a really important stage of our spiritual journey, when we are reaching the full circle. So that's why you're just kind of you're going to be facing certain dilemmas, but then at the same time, the best response would that be to just keep going, and as soon as you accept things for the way they are, the more successful you're going to be. On another hand, it's a brilliant week when it comes to the planning, success, working with people, communicating as much as you can, opening yourself as much as you can. Three of Coins. And also, you know, when it comes to the actual working within the group, working in a team. So it's very important to express yourself. It's very important to share your ideas. Anything that comes to you this week, write down. Anything that comes to you this week, just make sure that you're aware of it, because you know, this week you are most certainly you're going to have one of the most mind-blowing realization that you want to do something that you kind of put your heart to do within the last 2 or 3 years, like so strongly. But now by the end of this week, you're just going to be reminded how much you want to do something so big, so important, so huge. Like, it's all this is going to lead towards you like having like one of the biggest, huge, massive confirmations to yourself how much you want your life to change in these particular aspects, you know. But when it comes to what you decided like about a few years ago, so this is rather important time for you, my gorgeous Leonie, indeed. So your oracle card of the week is, okay, see the beauty in life. This is very important, and this is yet again, you just need to understand that basically it's about you also paying attention to the actual balance, making sure that you understand every single time this week when you feel relaxed, when you feel chilled out, when you're in the nature, within the nature, being part of the nature. It's important because we are nature, we are the nature ourselves. But also when you're relaxing, when you're chilling out, you know, there are all sorts of situations going to come to you, all sorts of like a thinking process is going to be very rich and very vivid, you know, and you will be kind of guided, you know, throughout. So pay attention to the certain things that are going to be highlighted to you, because they will be keep on like popping up in your element. And also just remember, light your own path, like my Lord. Do not kind of like really try to get confused by too many people telling you too many different things. Stick to your guns, stick to yourself, and that's the way to get grounded. You need to lead the way. You also need to remember this week, my gorgeous Leonie, that it's very important for you to put the foot down. Very important for you to put the foot down. And the more you express yourself like that way this week, the more you're actually going to get out of it. Very important, my gorgeous Leonis, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Virgo. Oh, my gorgeous Virgolinis, I think that you have been done. You have been done. You see, it's going crazy already. And did I drop something or I didn't? God knows I didn't. So you see, you have been done. You have been done, and this is what it came out. You see, Three of Cups. This is really important, my gorgeous Virgolini. Like, oh my Lord. First of all, it's a justice here, a judgment. Sorry. First of all, it's a judgment here. This is really important. So you are reaching a rather incredibly important and significant stage of your life. You are going to need to make a really powerful decision. That decision that you're actually going to make, it's going to start with you feeling really unsatisfied with your life. You see this? That's how you're going to start feeling here, really unsatisfied when it comes to your life. You see this? And this is the way your week is actually going to start. So it's very worth to kind of pay attention to what is making you feel really sad, what is making you really feel really negative, what is like blocking you, what is preventing you to move on. Ignore all the negativities that are happening around you, that are happening around the world, maybe for example, just for the moment, and just focus on yourself. And this is exactly what is going to happen, and it's going to be big moment, my gorgeous Virgolinis, big moment indeed. The first couple of days are going to be mind-blowing, because not only you're going to find yourself like very dissatisfied with a certain part of your life that you're not going to be too happy, and it's just going to, now you're going to reach the point, you know what, I had enough. But what is going to be really amazing here, it's almost immediately the realization and the power that you're actually going to have. The vibration is going to be just right, the vibration is going to be just perfect, and you are going to feel very strongly. It's going to come out of the blue, it's going to come out of nowhere. You're not going to be able to explain this power, you're not going to be able to explain this energy. This is going to be miraculous, this is going to be mind-blowing, and it's going to rejuvenate every single part of you. And above all, it's going to give you an eagle eye, an angel eagle eye. An angel eagle eye is going to give you an absolutely sacred look, sacred way to look at your situation, but also to see the part of you that you don't normally see, to connect to the part of your path and journey that you don't normally feel completely connected to, but you know that they are there because its essence is very strong. That in itself is going to be absolutely superb when it comes to your own strength, your own balance. And what is going to happen, you're going to make an absolutely miraculous decision, very important decision, one of the most powerful decisions that you have made in a really long time. But it's to do with things that you kind of like wanted to do for such a absolutely long time, but you just you haven't been honest with yourself, you haven't been giving enough credit to yourself, and then you were taken off, but lots of things happening around you, and that slowed you down and put you in a little corner. So now Big Mama is going to come out, and it's most certainly going to bring the best, the most powerful, the most significant out of you. You will make this decision, and that decision is going to be so different, because it's going to come from the deepest part of you, which is going to reflect on a long time to come, and most certainly you're going to make the right decisions. So it's about you just basically really kind of realizing what do you need to adjust in your life, what is really weighing you down, what you don't want to do and what you want to do. It's all about the next step, but it's also to do with your own personal promotion in your life. It's going on the next step, baby, and using all your power, all your magnificent spiritual intelligence and energy that you possess, and realizing this and taking your life on the next level by giving enough credit to yourself. It's about your own personal promotion, but it's at the same time going to lead towards your own rebirth. So this is really important, my gorgeous Virgolinis, because you will kind of feel something that you didn't feel in a long time, but you through your own power, you're also going to look at this, an absolutely mind-blowing culmination that is going to come through. It's an important problem, it's coming to an end, and I'm so happy. This is going to make you feel so good, this is going to make you feel so happy. On one hand, karmically, it tick-tock, clock is ticking, but then on another hand, it's all about your own energy and vibration, being completely prepared for this moment in time, and also having enough kind of like energy in order to perhaps like feeling the strong power and self-esteem, when we are uncertain completely how we're gonna go about the certain like kind of problem in front of us that we kind of don't know enough about, but then you're just gonna be able to feel this energy in order to make the most of it and to have a really important progress in your life. So it's about a problem, an annoying problem slowly coming to an end, and this is absolutely brilliant, my gorgeous Virgolini. And it's also like it's the actual compromise that is going to be connected to it, an important compromise. But most importantly, you know, when that compromise happens, you know, it's going to inspire you even more. It's going to make you alive even more. It's going to remind you that this is exactly what you want to do. So there is going to be very important and significant reason for celebration, you know, because you're going to feel something so real, so real about yourself and about your life that you couldn't kind of feel so far in a quiet while. So this is going to be really important, you know. It's not only inspiration that you're going to feel, you know, there are certain ideas that are going to come out of it, but most importantly, you know, it's like the artistic part of yourself is going to come out, you know. And this is something that I find quite interesting here at the same time. You see this, my gorgeous Virgolini? It's all about the strength and it's all about you kind of taking things on and having that, you know, control over a situation. You're going to be able to feel control over a situation like basically like you haven't felt in a long time. So now it's important to also pay attention to anything that comes to you, anything that you want to do, anything that you want to explore, anything that comes to you. I want to try this, I want to try that, I want to buy this, I want to buy that, anything that comes to you should most certainly inspect, because it's coming from like a very kind of wise and deep part of yourself, you know. And also karmically, the time is going to be absolutely perfect. So now you're also going to have an important news by the end of the week. The last couple of days this week, my gorgeous Virgolinis, you will see the news that you are going to have, and this in itself is going to be connected to the actual, to someone who is very important to you, someone who is very significant to you, and somebody who you think is very trustworthy. That particular news that you are going to have, it's going to show you the way, like where you should invest when it comes to your life. You see, both energetically and both monetary, you know, like where you should invest in your life. It's going to become obvious over the last couple of days this week. So just pay attention to it, and just remember, it's going to happen when you get the news, but somebody very important and consistent to you in your life is going to be connected to that news. Look at this. This is absolutely fantastic. Look at these birds, are gorgeous. This is your oracle card, and mindful wisdom, create inner harmony. You see, this is so important. The more, let me say this to you, it's so important. Every single time when you're doing something that you love doing, like expressing yourself, like maybe you love painting, maybe you like singing, maybe you like I don't know, like moving things around, maybe you like cleaning, you know, every single time when you're enjoying yourself this week, you need to understand that, you know, you are also at the same time, you are going to be lighting up your own path. At the same time, you will be realizing things that you don't normally realize. At the same time, you know, the certain problems are going to be coming to you in the particular order, the way you should deal with them. So this is something that you should pay attention to, because you're going to get so much more out of it. And also seek clarification. Just remember, there is a certain clarification that you're going to need to find out a bit more, because something is going to be rather devilish that you're going to hear, that you're going to become aware of, and you're not going to like it, and you're going to be absolutely right. Devilish in every single possible way. Something this week that you're going to become aware of, that you're going to hear, it is going to be rather devilish indeed in many different ways. So I need you to remember to seek some kind of clarification, because that is going to start changing the certain plan when it comes to you. And trust me, you most certainly should follow your intuition, because something is absolutely not going to make sense to you whatsoever. So this is something that you're going to need a little bit more clarification, and you will see exactly what I mean this is, okay? So now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Libra. I'm just going to have a little bit of a tea. Oh my god, it's a chamomile. It's just a chamomile tea with like a little bit of organic maple syrup. and it's organic unwaxed lemon. It's so good for you. I'm sorry, but I just love this so much. It's a rejuvenation time. Okay, so now now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Libra. Libra. Okay, so now, ooh, you see, you're gonna become aware of somebody very kind of like, you see, you're gonna become aware of some kind of like a double dealings. You're gonna become aware of somebody very naughty. You're gonna become aware of somebody really bad. You're gonna become aware of somebody very negative, somebody very slimy, somebody very vile, you know. And it's the moon, and it's, I'm strictly feeling it's to do with a person or with a group of people, and you're just gonna become aware of it. So it's gonna be brilliant, because you know, you will see at the same time how much this was actually draining you. It is the information that you're gonna be able to become hold of that, you know, was very much so affecting you in a big way, big time, because you know, almost as if you've kind of been lied to, almost as if you've been like somebody's been completely dishonest with you, and you did not like it, you do not like it. And this may be somebody who's like in your life, you know, literally, or it could be somebody who's like maybe nothing even to do with your own life, but it's to do with the bigger picture. But it's about this realization that you've been kind of like taken an advantage of in a certain way, and you're not the only one, you see. So you're just part of the maybe group of people, or part of lots of people, or part of few people, you see. But it really depends. However, you're gonna become aware of someone's dishonesty. You know, what can I say, my gorgeous Libra? It's basically like in every good is bad, in every bad is good, you know, a bit of a yin-yang moment. But this is most certainly your powerful yin-yang moment, because this was holding you down. So I think that it's around a certain lies that just created like a little border around you. So this is all about your own kind of like acceptance, that you will accept this and kind of move on with your life. So this is really important, because it's all about rather, so this is quite good, because it's at least it's gonna make you aware of devilish person, ooh, you know. But at the same time, devilish person, ooh. But at the same time, you know, it's just a basically, it's just like gonna be very beneficial for you, because it's going to help you to move on with your life and make a very much so relevant adjustment. You will know who to be careful about, and you will know which changes do you need to make. So of course that this is really important indeed. And that in itself, few days later, there is going to be very significant message that you are going to have. This message will be very good. It's not going to be like, oh my God, I'm like the king of the world. No, baby, no. But it's going to be like a tiny message which is going to let you know that there is a kind of like a very much so certain progress is about to start taking place. Certain progress is about to start happening, just moving about, you know. And it's really good, because it was stale. It was like kind of not moving and not changing for a long time. And this in itself is going to put a really big smile on your face. But at the same time, it's going to remind you of this particular situation, and you're going to be grateful for the things you know, because the other kind of like a next step that you're going to make after this moment in time, it's going to be remarkable. It's going to be the right thing to do. And if you weren't like kind of aware of this situation, then you wouldn't kind of be able to get to this baby here. You see, I really like this. I like it. I like it. You see, my gorgeous Libra, it's all about this wonderful hope and faith and the balance that this brings in, because we feel things that we didn't feel in a long time, and then that increases our own vibration and energy, and subconsciously it just starts painting the picture for us, and then ultimately it just comes up right in front of our face, and we are unable to ignore it whatsoever. So by the end of this week, pay attention to the actual very important opportunity, bright prospects that I'm talking about. This is also happening at around the perfect time, and the balance is going to be absolutely just right. And you have been also waiting for this moment in time for a really long time. So I'm seeing bright prospects, and I'm seeing like a very much so, very harmonious, beautiful energy, and lots of optimism at the same time. And within the last couple of days, pay attention to what is always making you feel happy. Pay attention to what is always putting a big smile on your face, because you will recognize a certain part of you that you need to pay attention to it a bit more. But above all, it's a very important opportunity going to be waiting for you. And I really, really like this indeed, because I know that this made you indecisive for a long time, because you have been waiting for this moment to happen. So now this is going to change quite a lot, and also it's going to be brilliant when it comes to the actual time of worries. You know, if you are financially worried and you weren't too sure what to do, you know, so this is actually going to be really positive time, and you are going to hear really good news when it comes to it. So now, my gorgeous Libra, I'm just going to shuffle these cards, and I'm going to see what is going to, which oracle card you're actually going to have. Let go of fear, divine will. This is a big mama card indeed, you know, which means that you will really want to expand yourself. You will be thinking about the next stage in your life. But at the same time, you need to understand that something is still going to be pulling you down when it comes to you feeling scared. You see, you are going to be focusing pretty much. So you see this baby here? It's two paths ahead. These two paths ahead are so super important. And the answer to these two paths ahead, you just need to remember to let go of fear. So you will just be sailing through like there is no tomorrow. You're going to be absolutely fine. So two important paths ahead. Let go of fear. It's very important, my gorgeous Libra, indeed. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to do, it's going to be my gorgeous Scorpione. And before I do Scorpione, la 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 la. Little tea. I drank it all now. Do you know what it is? Chamomile, organic chamomile tea is like big mama of teas, you know. Organic chamomile tea is absolutely brilliant, and it's with a little bit of organic maple syrup and organic unwaxed honey. It's so delicious. Okay, so now Scorpione. It's just a second, sorry. Okay, so I can, okay. Ooh. Scorpione, I think that there is going to be like a very big moment that you're going to have when it comes to your change at home. There is something that you will slowly come to an end. Okay, this energy is just going to be like a very much so highly vibrational energy, which is going to reflect on your home and on your immediate environment. So you're either going to feel like, oh, you want to make this change, you want to make that change, just do it. You're going to find this so beneficial. But at the same time, if you go with this flow, there is so much of cleverness that it's going to come to you. There is so much of a wise and intelligent energy that is going to be around you, because what you're doing is you're going with this flow and you're increasing your own energy, and that energy in return, it makes you more magnetic in such a way where you have lots of ideas, you know. You kind of have the ideas, but also you have a very sacred moments where you kind of get the solutions to your problem, because that way there is a particular solution to your problem that is going to become absolutely obvious, and it's pretty much so to do with a family matter. A very heavy and difficult family matter is slowly kind of going to start being resolved by this as well, and it's going to come through this. So when you're kind of like focusing on this, so it's either you will want to kind of make changes, immediate changes at home, and then you start doing them, and then you start getting all this like kind of vibrational energy which are going to point down to certain things in your life. But either you will want to kind of start thinking like, oh yeah, I want to make a big move, I want to move from this place to the other place, like some kind of like a change your move, you know, from like I don't know, from Chicago to Florida or something. I don't know, like you will want to make like a really big move, and maybe you wanted to make this move like a long time ago. Maybe you were thinking about it a while ago, but now suddenly it's going to come to you, but you will feel very, very strongly. So either way, whether you're going to accept this, that you want to make that move from this place to another place, or you want to make changes in your immediate environment. However, it's to do with your immediate environment and you following yourself, following your path and making making that decision, and that in itself, it's going to also help you to resolve. I know it sounds weird, a certain family matter is at the same time going to be resolved when it comes to that particular thing. So this is really, really important. And on another hand, you know, you are going to see something so significant. Look at this. Oh, hello, baby. You're going to see something so significant, my gorgeous Scorpione, you know, and it's going to give you an idea, you know, and that idea, it's also going to help you so much with the part of your life that made you feel so dark because you were so scared, and it's nothing to do with you necessarily, but this is just going to bring you so much of the actual beautiful, powerful transformational energy in your life that is almost immediately going to kind of get you planning and thinking, and you're going to start feeling things, you know, in your life for a long time, things that you didn't feel in a long time when it comes to maybe the next step in your life, and when certain planning, you know, things are going to become really, really vivid indeed. And on another hand, you know, very annoying like problem, it's coming to an end slowly, you know. It's about the actual culmination period which is going to start taking place, but most certainly it's about a certain compromise that you are going to have, an important compromise. So when the certain problem slowly comes to an end, you're going to have a compromise, but the bottom line is this is going to be absolutely brilliant, and something very significant is going to come out of it, in particular when it comes to like the things that have been keeping you like a frequently too restrained, you know, in your life, and that were affecting you, and you can only feel when you have such important news. So it is going to be the news that you're going to have, and it's going to be leading towards like a very much so celebration. You're going to have a big smile on your face because you were worrying, so now this is about to bring you a really important reason to actually celebrate, but also most importantly, even more important, is the actual inspiration into your life. That is just really going to be that's going to make an absolutely wonderful impact, you know, when it comes to things that no longer serve you. You need to really kind of pay attention to what these things are, because they're going to become obvious at around the time when you realize this reason for celebration, my gorgeous Scorpione. Because at the same time you are because of this step, because of this reason for celebration and good news that you are going to have, because of this you will be able to kind of specify this part of your life that is no longer, that you are very, very dissatisfied about, you know what, and you just have to be honest with you, it just slowly came to an end. So this is really important indeed, and you need to understand that at the same time you are going to have a control over a situation, and power and self-esteem and confidence, and this is all going to play an important giant role indeed. And you know, just like let me this is like basically 8 of Swords, you see. It's just also, it's about your own self-imposed prison. What is making you feel really negative? What is kind of making you feel really dissatisfied? This is very important, my gorgeous Scorpione, because what you need to understand that this week, look, okay, the answer to this is just basically, look at this, just you need to understand to keep going and keep going. You're close to something very important, something very significant. It is not going to be that long until you have this absolutely remarkable, mind-blowing, big mama breakthrough. But before that happens, it is gonna be a little bit of the moment that you're gonna feel like, oh my God, I've done this to myself, like a self-imposed prison, blah blah blah, like I've done this to myself. So you will be blaming yourself for something, but at the same time, my light just went. It has to be Scorpione. Catherine is here. The spirit of Catherine is here, and the Catherine is absolutely confirming everything that I say, that this is really important, because my gorgeous Scorpione, you are going to have a moment, you know, where you're going to think like, oh my God, it's like a little bit of pressure that you're going to feel this week. At around the midweek, towards the end of the week, you're going to feel a little bit of pressure, but you will be blaming yourself like, oh my God, self-imposed prison, like something that you decided to do, that you decided to kind of go on to follow through, but now you just don't think that this situation is serving you any longer. This is just a little bit of sign, very good sign for you that, you know, it needs to get worse in order to get better. You are getting very, very close to the certain breakthrough when it comes to your life, and that in itself, it's really gonna have a magnificent impact on your life. You need to remember that you just need to stay committed to the task at hand. You're gonna have a very interesting surprise really not that long after that, when you have this like a moment of like, oh my god, I had enough, because it's all about the Hanged Man. It's going to give you almost immediately, you will possess this power to see the situation upside down, to see the situation from a completely different angle, and by the end of this week you will know exactly which part of your life do you need to readjust, what do you need to sacrifice, which changes do you need to make, what do you need to cut out of your life. This is very important because it's going to lead towards your own rebirth. It's something that you need to do, and it came slowly to an end. It is not going to make sense to you by the end of this week, and most certainly that's absolutely right. Okay, so now I'm just gonna see what is gonna what is your oracle card of the week. So now I've got only one light bulb up here, but the spirit of Catherine is here. This is very important, my gorgeous Scorpioni. I have got the spirit of Catherine here, and Catherine just left me with one light bulb. I've got three normally. So now when the spirit activity is very strong and powerful, then they go just after one another. But it had to happen with you because you're very deep, you're very spiritual, you're very powerful. Your subconscious mind can take, like, it's very, very strong indeed when it comes to this particular balance. So the spirit of Catherine also wants to let you know that there is a very important opportunity going to come up for you this week. Very important opportunity is going to come up for you this week, my gorgeous Scorpioni, and it's going to happen at the moment in time you see something absolutely out of this world. You will be part of the dimension that is completely going to surprise you. You will find yourself like somewhere completely unplanned, you know, and once you kind of reach this element, this dimension, you will become a part of something like absolutely weird, bizarre, strange, rather mysterious and unusual. There is going to be a very important sign for you. This sign you will not be able to ignore, and it's going to answer your question. You will know what the answer to the big question is, but it's to do with an opportunity, you know. The most certainly you should go for it. Very important indeed. This is the message from Catherine. And also Catherine is saying that somebody in your life needs your attention. Somebody is being misled. Somebody is being lied to, like there is no tomorrow. So this is really important, my gorgeous Scorpioni, because you have got the answer. You have got the healing energy in a sense, which is going to come in a sense of like the direction, like somebody needs a little bit direction in your life, somebody who's close to you, who mean to you so much. Okay. And also, look what's so important, voice your concerns. This is more important than ever, my gorgeous Scorpioni, to voice your concerns when it comes to this week. And also at the same time, talk as much as you can, communicate as much as you can, and anything that worries, you know, anything that worries you, it's basically you kind of need to open up and discuss this, because you are going to have the power of the healing energy, you see, create inner harmony by doing what you want to do in order to relax, but on another hand, seek clarification. It's very important. So as soon as you voice your concerns, you will know that there is a certain clarification that you will need to seek, and the clarification that you will need to seek, it's almost immediately going to illuminate your path, because karmically you will do the right thing, but you need to understand one step at a time. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Sagittarius, Sagittarini, and now I'm like in a half dark, half light. It doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Okay, so now I'm just going to go to Sagittarini, 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 Sagittari, Sagittari, Sagitterini, 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 Sagittari, Sagittari, Sagitterini, 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 Sagittari, Sagittari, Sagitterini, pam 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 param pam 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 param pam param pam pa 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 pam 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 param pam pam pa pam parara pam para pam pa 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 param. My gorgeous Sagittarini, did you miss your song? No. So now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, and I'm sitting in a half dark. So the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be you, my gorgeous Sagittarius. Sorry, Sagittarini. Just a second. Sagittarini, Sagittarini, Sagittari, Sagittari, tara 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 tan 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 tan. Okay, there will be two important paths ahead of you, my gorgeous Sagittarini. There are going to be two important paths ahead of you this week. And don't kind of get lost in these feelings, in emotions, by thinking, by being excited, and by thinking that basically you've got like a kind of like a, oh yeah, you're just going to leave this behind, you're just going to leave this behind. It's important to pay attention to these two paths ahead of it. It's an important time to actually think what attracts you about it. It's an important time to think what you need to do in order to get yourself on these two paths. These two paths are not completely brand new paths. They're connected to your current situation. The current situation, whatever you're doing now, whatever you're focusing on, whatever you're trying to achieve, there are two specific things that are missing, my babies, and these two specific things are going to become obvious within the first 3 days this week. This is very, very important. I know that you're seeking clarification. It's going to be kind of really significant part of it, but at the same time, you need to understand and remember that the success is going to come from your own dedication, but there are two particular things missing, and that these things are going to become absolutely obvious. And you know how they can come to you, my babies. They can come to you in many different ways. You know, you're just chilling out, relaxing, or you're just like kind of sleeping, and you wake up in the morning and you open your gorgeous little eyes, and then 10 minutes later, you know, let's say that you're still in bed for 10 minutes, you know, you open your eyes and then it just comes to you. Maybe 2 minutes later, as soon as you open your eyes, you know, you're like kind of thinking about something, and then it just comes to you. And then it's like this specific part, oh no, I want to do this. No, I must do this. You know, it's just like they reveal this path, they reveal themselves in the most of the mysterious ways. Like, for example, you can just chilling out and then it comes to you. You can just like meditating and it just comes to you, an insight from the meditation. You can be by the water, like relaxing, and this is also having an impact when it comes to us, you know. There are many different ways, but both things are going to be super important for you in order to achieve the most in life. Ignore the negativity. There is enough of negativity around us as it is, but just think about yourself. Now it's more important than ever. You see, absolutely superb time, because you are going to have a very much so powerful energy and vibration, and you're going to feel from the beginning of the week there is a very important message that you are going to have. And it's going to be really significant, and it's going to be connected to you, to your own spiritual path, to things that you have been doing and the things that you have been trying to achieve. So it's connected to your own accomplishment, but it's going to make you feel so much better. You know, it's going to make you feel so good about yourself. It's going to give you just enough of that gorgeous spiritual petrol, which is on another hand going to bring you this wonderful essence of you having a control over those things in life that you felt like you haven't had so far. This is going to be superb when it comes to your internal balance, which on another hand means that anything that you feel attracted to, or anything that you want to explore, anything that you need to do, that you feel like doing, that most certainly you should do it, because it's going to come from somewhere very, very significant indeed, somewhere very spiritual and very powerful, you know. But at the same time, you need to remember to trust your intuition. It's yet again really important. I do think that somebody's going to try to wind you up. Somebody's just going to kind of be rather stroppy and rather negative around you. But I want you to understand that this person is nobody bad. You know, this person is nobody like really horrible or anything like that. I think it's somebody like in your house, in your family, somebody very close to you, like your family member, your best friend, or somebody who really cares about you and you care about them. By the same time, there is something that is going to be quite negative in their life. They're going through something very difficult. They're going through something very negative. So if you can kind of help through, give you a gorgeous helping hand, they will find this really beneficial. So somebody, maybe that person depends on you. Maybe that person is just like a very close family member, like a brother, sister, a really great friend. It doesn't matter. But it's just like they just gonna come out at you, like they're gonna respond to you. They're gonna like kind of piss you you off a little bit or be angry with you, but then again they're going to challenge you, but then it's nothing personal. They're going through something very difficult, and what is even more important, try to find out what this is. Something that happened to them a long time, now it's like kind of catching up with them. It's a very strange moment that they're going through that is like increasing very bizarre vibration around them. So please don't take this to the heart. Don't take serious what I tell you. But if you help them and see the situation what it is, try to make them to change their mind a little bit, like try to kind of like direct their mind towards something else, try to talk about something really happy and significant, you know, and this is something that is going to be quite beneficial indeed. But on another hand, I really like this. It's a fantastic recognition. I'm so happy for you, my gorgeous Sagittarini, because just you have been waiting for this for such a long time. And this goes both ways. It's the maybe project that you've been waiting to be recognized. Maybe you started certain work, certain job. Maybe you will maybe you wanted to kind of to talk to someone, but maybe you were talking to someone and they didn't notice you. However, it's to do with your own success, and it's to do with things that you have been paying attention to and focusing on for the last 12 months. Indeed, very important. So the news that you're going to have, the information that you're going to have, it's all going to be about your own, you know, celebration, excitement, good news, your own recognition. You're going to feel really proud of yourself, bless your heart, you know. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, you're going to feel proud, but this is going to mean to you so much. But then again, it's going to, on another hand, pave the path for the very strong sense of direction. So you will know what the next step is, because you will have the taste and the flavor of something so nice and so positive and so optimistic in your life that is just going to like kind of give even more of this Vavumish energy to go forward. You need to see what this is, and that is also going to be connected to this next step that I'm talking about. Very important indeed. So now I'm just going to see what is going to be your oracle card. Sagittarini, Sagittarini, para-pam, para-pam, pa-pa-para-para-dam, I'm in a mood today. So now you see this just popped out like, my lord, act with care. Like I jumped, I jumped. Act with care. Listen to this. This is so important. Love and light. Act with care. Listen, people in your life are so important. Relationships in your life are so important. This week, this is going to become evident, and you need to talk to people in your life. You need to express yourself. You need to open up. Think about relationships. Think about old friends. Think about like a family. Think about people who think to you so much, because this week they will be playing an important role when it comes to like looking at your life, looking at the big picture, who means to you, who doesn't mean to you. But most importantly, try to kind of communicate to as many people as you possibly can who mean to you this week. Very, very important, my gorgeous Sagittarini, indeed. And also the third eye vision. Oh my god, this is so important, you know, which means like basically it's navigate distractions, navigate as many distractions as you possibly can, because your third eye is going to be guiding you. So pay attention to things that come to you spontaneously. And even if suddenly you're sitting down and you just like suddenly you have this feeling like, oh yeah, I just want to go to my garden, if you've got a garden, like, and plant I don't know, a rose or something, you know, just do it. If this like kind of like things that come to you spontaneously, because you know you're following this very sacred vibration that at the same time brings the best in you, because you're doing something that you like, that you love, but at the same time it increases your vibration. So therefore so many ideas bounce back to you as well that you should be paying attention to, that you may not be aware of. You see, very important indeed. So now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Capricorn. I haven't got, you know, my nose is itching me. Please, people, stop telling me that I'm doing something like dodgy, you know, like sniffing something, yeah? I'm not. I'm itching my nose, and I'm gonna address this in a certain video. I'm itching my nose like this often because I sit here, there are two lights in front of me, and the my cats, they have a long hair, yeah? So anybody who knows, who has cats, you know that, the hair, I kiss them all the time, so the hair just stays on my face. And with two lights, it makes you a little bit sweaty, and then it sticks even more. So there's a cat's hair absolutely everywhere. So if you see me doing this, trust me, it's not like what some people think that it is. Please. Okay, I would be like dead by now if I was doing this, like for the amount of time I've done this, like filming, I would be like, yeah, like, no, don't even joke. What am I even talking about? Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous Capricorn. Capricornius. 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 Raise your vibration, baby. Capricornius, yeah, I'm looking at you. Capricornius. Capricornius, pam, 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 pam. 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 Capricornius, pam, 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 pam. My gorgeous Capricornius, this is a big week, big moment, for you. And a specific family member just needs your help, or somebody very close to you, somebody very important to you. It may not be necessarily like a family member, because in the spiritual world and in the world of the spirituality, people who mean to us so much, people who are meant to be in our lives, they are going to be in our lives. Like, I've got a friend who I know I've got friends who I know since I was like 3, for example, and we are still like best friends nowadays. So people who are meant to be in your life, they are going to be in your life regardless, And they're also very important because, there's so many different elements connected to them, their spiritual journey and our spiritual journey. We are meant to be in their lives and they're meant to be in our lives. And these people are like saviors, whether they're friends or whether they're like a family members. But the bottom line is that somebody who means to you so much, it's going to need your help in the form of maybe guiding them through and preparing them, like, not to expect too much, too quick, too soon, that it needs to happen one step at a time. So somebody's maybe just like kind of on the certain path, on the certain road, and they just like kind of going really fast, really quick to achieve what they want to achieve, but there is still quite a long way and a long path in between them and maybe the particular success. But that person is very sensitive in many different ways, whether it's to do with their age or whether it's to do with their experience or whether it's to do with like their maybe with their spiritual journey. So you just need to kind of like remind them how wonderful they are, how important they are, but also just to remind them to not to expect things too far. I know it sounds crazy, not to expect things too soon. One step at a time. They need to have a patience because they're quite sensitive in many different ways, so they must not lose hope. Patience is a virtue, but at the same time you need to understand that basically that person needs to stay committed to the task at hand. This is what it is. This is what you need to understand. So whether this is your family member or whether this is like your best friend or a friend, it doesn't matter. It's somebody who's very important to you, but you have got such a powerful energy around you because you're Capricornius. You're Capricorn, of course, so you've got a very powerful energy around you, and this is really going to step into their life so beautifully. This is karmically going to get back back to you so nicely. Like within like about 7 weeks after you actually talk to that person, you know. This week it would be ideal if you do it, and 7 weeks later, you know, exactly 7 weeks later, this is actually going to get back to you so nicely, because like a very kind of like a sad and miserable part of your life is going to come to an end, and suddenly you're going to have a very strong activity and determination around it that you wouldn't normally have, and you're going to find this is a rather nice challenging situation, and it's going to help you so much to walk through these particular doors, and this is going to be like your own little karmic reward for this, okay, because you've done something really, you're doing something much bigger than you could possibly imagine by helping this person. So this is important, but it's going to mean to you as well. And I'm not saying this only because, oh yeah, because karmically you're going to get a reward. No, baby, no, don't get me wrong. You know, I'm just saying how things are connected and how important all this actually is. On another hand, my gorgeous Capricornius, okay, so now, Death. You see this? We've got a death here. So this is a very good card. I really like death, you know, because sometimes people think, oh my god, death, dying. We're all gonna die one day, okay? Yeah, of course, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, this is an important time when it comes to the actual transformation, my gorgeous Capricornius. This is important. This is more important week that you could possibly imagine. It's to do with your own transformation, and it's also to do with you starting to feel kind of, it's not the best time to kind of invest financially into things. No, baby, no. To think about what you want to do in terms of investment when it comes to your like finances and things like that, to think about it this week, it's fine, because a lot is going to come to you that you wouldn't even realize, and you don't want to invest this week because you would do things like pretty much so, and you would be way too impulsive to invest into things in the wrong way. So no, baby, no. If you was thinking about some kind of investment financially, no, baby, no. Wait for another week, but not this one, okay? On another hand, you know, you're just gonna kind of feel this is the time of transformation. And what does that mean? Oh, time of transformation. It means that suddenly you're gonna start feeling like a very much so, I would even say, an unknown energy, because it is just kind of like there are lots of energy that you're gonna feel. And I say unknown purely because, you know, this is going to bring lots of aspects out in your life this week that you have been kind of like a subconsciously thinking about, but you may not even been so aware of it, how much this was actually affecting your life until this moment in time. Something that you need to do, something that you kind of put on hold, it's going to become obvious, you know, and this is something that you need to pay attention to. But on another hand, and it's important when it comes to your personal progress, but on another hand, you're gonna feel like you really want to kind of change things around you as much as you can. And I will tell you why this is so important. When you kind of like change things around you as much as you can, you know, you are also like going with this wonderful, powerful energy when it comes to the actual feng shui. So this reflects on you in really, really kind of nice ways. So if you feel like you want to kind of like, not that you're only gonna feel like you want to kind of like get rid of the old in order to make a space for the new, not that you're only gonna feel like that, but it's just basically if you do kind of like just change things around you, get rid of things that have been in your place for long time, you know, energetically this is really going to increase your vibration, and it's going to be beneficial for you for so many different things. But on another hand, it's the ideas that you will have. It is the inspiration that come to you at the same time when you follow this vibration. So what you need to do this week is just move things around a little bit, change things around a little bit, like maybe get rid of one lamp and bring another lamp in. You know, I know it sounds crazy, but it's important because it's going to reflect on your own energy, and that in return it's also going to be beneficial when it comes to the actual you know, like being aware of the bright prospects like later on. It's almost like a clearing. You're also clearing your own energy, you're cleansing your own energy while you're doing this, you know. And another thing is also the justice. This is so important My gorgeous Capricornius, it is the time of justice. This is going to mean to you so much, because suddenly you will be able to carry on with yourself. You will be able to carry on with your own planning. You were kind of slowed down. You were blocked a little bit. You were kind of like maybe frozen a little bit just for a while, because you didn't know what is going to happen. So you were waiting for the certain decision, you know, to hear about. And that decision is so important to you, because at the same time it's almost immediately going to make you think, make you aware about something very specific in your future that you should be paying attention to. When it comes to your future planning, there are certain things that you have been thinking about that you wanted to do and to achieve when it comes to your future, but it's just that they have been put on hold, but they weren't kind of in the right order when it comes to your mind. So when it comes to your future planning, something is actually going to have a flip-flop moment, the spiritual flip-flop moment, and something is going to change when it comes to the future planning. And this is always a good sign, because it means that by the end of this week there is a spiritual shortcut that you are going to be provided. And before the spiritual shortcut happens, there is a pathway, there's a new portal that you're going to become aware of. And this is pretty much so going to be connected to two particular things when it comes to your future, you know, two specific paths when it comes to your future. And on another hand, look at this. Absolutely mind-blowing, you see, and you are going to have a bit of a hermit moment at around that time as well. You know, you're going to just kind of feel like you want to be by yourself just for one day, just one specific day before the end of this week, and something is going to come to you. Very important hidden emotion is going to come to you, and this is going to be connected to all this justice, and it's going to be connected to the balance, and it's going to be connected to you changing the certain priority when it comes to your future. It's important because you need to see that you are in self-denial when it comes to something, and you need to realize what this self-denial is all about, because almost immediately it's going to pinpoint you towards like you doing things the way you want to do them, the way you want to do them. This is important, the way you want to do them. And also pay attention to a very interesting opportunity at around the end of the week as well. Very interesting opportunity, my gorgeous Capricornius, indeed. Okay, so now I'm just going to see what is going to be your oracle card. Sorry. Oracle card of the week. Oracle card of the week. Oracle card of the week. Oh my God. Sasha, stop it. Okay, so now I'm just going to see what is going to be your oracle card of the week, my gorgeous Capricornius. This is very important indeed. Improvement requires persistence. Do not lose your hope. Okay, just keep going. Keep going, my gorgeous Capricornius, because it's also going to happen a little tricky situation. You're going to find yourself like kind of keeping going, and you're also at around the midweek, you're going to find yourself like, oh God, I want more out of life. I want more out of light. Light, yeah, I suppose. I want more out of life. And this is very important for at the same time to say that there are certain new directions going to become obvious. Okay? Certain new directions are going to become obvious, but you need to remember to have an open mind. You see this baby here? You need to remember to have an open mind. Indeed. And your wings will grow. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, Aquamarine. Okay, so now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Aquamarine. You're going to have such a spiritual moment this week, you know, very strange, very bizarre moment, you know. You are actually Queen of Cups, of course, that you've got a Queen of Cups, it's popped out like this, you know. But what I was going to say, my gorgeous Aquamarine, my gorgeous Aquarius, that you're going to have a very strange moment this week. It looks like somebody from like the other side of the not the other side of the world, but somebody from the other side or something very unusual, very strange and very bizarre and very kind of weird. It's actually going to happen to you this week, and you're not going to be able to explain this. You will know that something very specific is connected to this. Some kind of very specific spirit is going to be connected to this. Something very strange. This situation out of this world is going to remind you of someone in particular, somebody very specific, and that particular person will kind of want to get in touch with you so much. So some kind of spirit will want to come through, want to come forward, and what you need to understand, that spirit will want to let you know something very specific about somebody very specific in your life that you should be paying attention to. This is very important. Through the I know it sounds crazy, I'm sorry, but through the power of the actual synchronicity, you will know that number 7 is also going to be really relevant when it comes to some kind of timing, when things are going to be actually resolved when it comes to that particular person. So somebody from the spirit world is somehow going to try to point towards somebody in this world who you should be paying attention to, somebody who is maybe having a little mask on, and somebody who's not coming out to you completely how they should, and somebody who's having lots of secrets, and somebody who's having double dealings maybe behind, you know. So a bit of a dark lala moment, but at least it's not something that is completely going to surprise you. So whether this was at the back of your subconscious mind for a while, or you just kind of like maybe prior to that moment you will hear something about it, but somehow something is telling me that you're not going to be completely surprised about it whatsoever. So this is something to pay attention to, and you will know, you will be aware of this different dimension. You will be aware, maybe something will follow off, maybe some kind of bird will fly in and act in a really strange way, and you will know it's a certain spirit. Maybe you will smell the certain perfume, maybe of somebody who used to be in your life. Maybe you will just like see someone with the corner of your mind, and you look and there is no one there, but of course there is, you know. Or maybe you will kind of feel like a very strong temperature drop, or what just happened to me, like just light bulb just goes and I'm just left with just one, because I had so much of spiritual activity here. So it really depends, you see, how you're gonna feel, but most certainly you will know. And also, my gorgeous Aquarius, this is so important. Your intuition, my God, specifically within the first 3 days, follow your intuition so much, because there is a lot going to be on your mind. There is a lot that you're going to be questioning yourself. There is a lot that you're going to be realizing, and there is a lot that you will want to do. But also at the same time, I think that you need to slow down a little bit and just take one step at a time. Be very careful, because things are unfolding in a rather strange way when it comes to like maybe the whole world, you know, and things around us that we haven't got anything to do about, you know, ourselves personally, but then at the same time they're affecting our way of life and our way of thinking and our way of planning. So you need to be a little bit careful here, because I think that there are the certain plans that you're going to change, something that you want to rush with, something that you want to rush in. You just need to take a one step at a time. And also when it comes to maybe the certain like a kind of like certain plans when it comes to some kind of traveling and things like that, my gorgeous aquamarine, is there also going to be some kind of changes that are going to start manifesting around them, which are going to require from you just to kind of like a rethink what you were planning to do and things like that. So this is important. But on another hand, very important is the vision. There is a certain vision that you will have, my gorgeous aquamarine, in this week, and this vision, it's going to be so important for you to follow this through. This is something to do with your work, and it's to do with like things around you. It's to do with your next step, but it's at the same time to do with the certain specific changes that you are going to need to make. People in your life are going to be playing an important role when it comes to confirmation. There are the changes that you will want to make, that you will want to do. There are specific changes that you're going to become aware of, but you're not going to be too sure how you're going to do them, how you're going to go on about it. And somebody in your life is beautifully going to step forward, step through, and let you know exactly what you need to do. Somebody who means to you so much, somebody who's really important to you, and somebody who is just going to inspire so much when it comes to the next step, when it comes to the future planning, when it comes to an inspiration, but also at the same time when it comes to you staying true to yourself. This is an absolutely mind-blowing week when it comes to you changing your mind, but also doing the best possible thing when it comes to your future. There is a change that is going to happen, slowly start happening, but purely because you're going to become aware of something to do with somebody, and that in itself is going to really play an important role, because it's going to open your eyes, but most importantly it's going to make you towards this it's going to pinpoint you towards this particular adjustment that you need to make, you know, in your life. This is very, very important time for you, my gorgeous Aquamarini. Indeed. Okay, so now I feel like I need to take one more card as well for you. You see, absolutely brilliant. You see, it's very content. You're going to find yourself very content. You're going to find yourself very happy. You're going to find yourself like having this particular balance, but at the same time, you know, communication, it's really important. Communication, it's very, very important, because you will be thinking about what do you want to do. Okay, and also at the same time it's to do with like a planning. It's to do with this is a perfect week for planning. This is absolutely no baby, no week when it comes to the actual investment, if it comes to the actual financial investments and things like that. This week it's absolutely no, because you will realize something, and what you're going to realize is going to be crucial. So this is the week for like thinking, and week to follow your intuition, and it's also like kind of week to be daring as much as you possibly can. But on another hand, it's the actual week to explore. The more you explore options throughout this week, the more beneficial for the week after that this is going to be. So it's most certainly not week for planning, because you are gonna not week for like investing financially, because you're gonna become aware of things that are so important, that are gonna help you to grow so much. Something that was missing in your life big time, it's gonna become obvious this week. And that's why I'm saying, do not kind of rush into anything. This is week for thinking, absorbing as much as you can, because you're going to become aware of the things that you haven't been aware of before, and this is important. On another hand, very good news here. Very good news about your accomplishment. You have been working so far. You have been doing so far. You used so much of your energy, you know, and you were so unselfish. You're the least selfish person in the world, my gorgeous Aquamarinis. You're gorgeous, but you have been using your energy to help other people. You have been using your energy to you know, like to help people in your life, your family members. You were focusing a lot on them. You were working for them as much as you were working for yourself. But at the same time, you are going to have a very important news when it comes to your own accomplishment. And I'm so happy for you, you know, because that in itself is finally going to help you to make a really important decision when it comes to your personal development. It's something is just going to come to you. Something is just literally going to come to you for the first time, some kind of idea. And this is going to be pretty much so a game changer, because it's going to help you also to express yourself, but also it's going to help you to make sense out of the part of your life that you find like a little bit overburdened, you know, with pressure and things like that. So now this is going to really make sense. So now, my gorgeous Aquamarini, I'm going to see what is going to be your oracle card of the week. Okay, my gorgeous Aquamarinis. Focus on a solution. Illuminate the shadow, 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 shadow. 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 Raise your vibration. Illuminate the shadow, 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 shadow. Illuminate the shadow, shadow. This is so important. Just remember, my gorgeous Aquamarini, focus on a solution, because by focusing on a solution, you're gonna realize exactly which limitations do you have to observe. This is very important. And on another hand, you're gonna become aware exactly where and how you were led astray. And this is going to be pretty much so huge turning moment for you. Huge turning point for you indeed. Illuminate the shadow. Okay, dokie. So now the next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Pisces. La 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 da 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 da. Okay. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 ceiling. Bye 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 bye. Do you know what's really interesting this week, my gorgeous Pisces? It's just like some kind of a dream that you are going to have that you may not even be aware of. So you will be dreaming about something and you may not even be aware of then and there. But it's just there is going to be the moment where there is going to be very strong kind of like a illuminating moment that you will be having, that you will be going through, and you're gonna see something, throughout this, at the beginning of this week you will see something, and it's going to give you an idea, and you're gonna feel a very strong connection to that what you're gonna see, but you never had anything to do with that particular past, for example. And this is the dream that I'm talking about, and if you being familiar with that part of your life that you never had, you never tried, you never had any experience with, but suddenly you're gonna feel a very strong connection towards it. And this is to do with the actual dream that you've had previously, that it's going to help you to make this very much so subconscious, like a spiritual connection. So you will feel very drawn towards the new path, my gorgeous Pisces, and pay attention to it, because this is pretty much so going to become evident within the first 3 days this week. So just pay attention to that new path that is actually going to kind of manifest around you, because it's at the same time going to be very important for you to trust your intuition. But then on another hand, it's going to be kind of like almost immediately it's going to like kind of make you feel really inspired. It's going to like kind of like make you feel really good about yourself. It's going to re-energize you in such a way where you're going to start feeling like lots of ideas and having lots of ideas about it. So you just need to see what you feel like rather vavavumish about, my gorgeous Pisces, especially when it comes to the first few days this week. It's really important because it's going to reveal so much to you in terms of feelings and emotions and the difference how you're going to feel. And also at the same time, it is just about the bright prospects that are going to become absolutely obvious by around the end of the week. And that in itself is going to give you so much hope and inspiration, and it's going to reflect on other parts of your life. So what you wanted to do previously within the last about a year in order to change your life, this is just going to slide in rather nicely, because it's going to work absolutely perfectly. But also at the same time, it's going to make you feel really emotional, because at that moment in time, somebody who's like really significant to you and important to you, it's actually going to confirm this to you. By the same time, you've got a little bit of sad and negative situation that you're going to have to accept that a certain part of your life is coming to an end. So it's just like a little bit of like cutting something out of your life, but in terms of realizing it's coming to an end. So you're going to need to move on from this and just bring more energy into new things, into the new path. And that is ultimately going to re-energize you in so many different ways, but also it's going to accept you why the certain path maybe didn't work out for you, why didn't kind of happen to you and things like that. It doesn't matter, you know, we live and learn, and this specific spiritual path that we find ourselves on this earth, this journey, it's all about us doing things that we want to do, us expressing ourselves the way we want to do. So this is why this is all going to be so important, and it's going to be playing an important part when it comes to the whole picture indeed. So it's all about the acceptance and moving on with your life as well. This is really important, my gorgeous Pisces lineage. You know what? You're actually going to start something very important this week. And you don't need to try to start physically or anything like that, but it's all about your mind and moving on with things at the same time, you see? And it's going to take exactly 5 months until things work out for you. Just remember, whatever new you start this week, whatever problem you wonder about, how long it's going to take, whatever issue you have pops up and you're wondering how long it's going to take, just remember it's going to take exactly 5 months until it comes to the very important point to you, that where the changes are going to be absolutely obvious. So now 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at around April 2022, this is going to be pretty much, so whatever you start like new, or whichever option new you take on as in a form of a new path or a new direction, this is going to kind of it's going to have a really big kind of turning point when it comes to the actual April 2022. And this is also what I like. Look at this, an absolutely important news you're going to have this week. News when it comes to the actual something that you have been worrying so much, something that, you know, there is a problem that you had, something that was absolutely slowing you down and making you feel quite uncertain and negative, and it was confusing you so much over the last year, and especially the last 3 months were mind-blowing when it comes to you kind of losing your sense of yourself and losing your direction, because you will keep on plodding along doing one thing, staying on one path, and just maybe not to please others, but you've just lost yourself because you wasted so much of your energy because you were focusing on things that you didn't necessarily find yourself at, and that affected you, and it made you maybe just like a little bit of like a robot mode. But that's fine, we all go through this, it's part of life. But I'm saying that this is a very important information and news that you are going to have. It's going to make you feel so good, because this particular problem that caused so much blockage is slowly coming to an end. It's absolutely fantastic, you know, absolutely brilliant, annoying problem, it's coming to an end. And even more so, this is going to inspire you, it's going to make you feel even more artistic to focus to pay attention, to focus to other things in life that are coming as in form of new directions. But at the same time, you know, it's about a compromise. This is going to be celebration, you will want to celebrate. This is going to be so good, and important news that you will have this week. You will want to make a celebrate, because, you know, there are new directions that are almost immediately going to become obvious, but it's also going to be connected to the certain compromise that is going to take place as well. So if you do need to have a compromise, if you do need to discuss something important, if you do need to have an important chat, or like have an important discussion and you're just waiting for the right moment, you know, no, this life is too short, my babies. Just go for it, because the luck and the balance is going to be on your side. So there is a lot that you're going to gain out of it, and on top of that, as a karmic reward, you're also going to kind of become aware of things that you weren't aware of before. Like you will learn lessons that are going to be life-changing that you wouldn't be aware of before, because you're going with this powerful vibration. So this will be very important, my gorgeous Pisces lineage, because it's reflecting on a part of life that made you feel like completely stuck, you know. And it made you feel like a bit of like, not prison, but like self-imposed prison, you know, like that, you know. So that's slowly coming to an end, you know. You need to understand this week, you need to be as analytical as you possibly can, because the more analytical you are, the less frequently you will feel restrained. So it's all here, you see. Very important indeed, you know. There is a certain sacrifice that you're going to become aware of, but hey, this is all about your own rebirth that you are having. So by the end of the the week, you will have the power because of the things that will take place and that will happen. You will have a power to see the situation in your life from a completely different angle, and that in itself is going to direct you towards the part of your life that you need to make a sacrifice about in order to move on. This is to do with your own development and rebirth. Beautiful, beautiful week for you, Pisces, indeed. So now I'm just going to see what is going to be your oracle card of the week, my gorgeous Piscelini. Okay. See, I'm left with one light bulb. Focus on a solution, focus on a solution. There is a problem going to rise up, you know. The problem is going to rise up, and you're going to feel this week at some point like, oh God, like basically you're not going to be happy the way your life is floating. You will want more, you will want more, you will want more, and you will find yourself on a spiritual quest. And this is the perfect time to have a spiritual quest because it's October, so everything is like heightened throughout of October, like there is no tomorrow. The veil in between this world and the spirit world is at its thinnest, so we can expect anything. So you're going to find yourself like being pretty much so wanting out of life, finding on a spiritual quest, you know, because it's all about focusing on the solution, but also most importantly it's about the observing limitation in your life, and make sure that you're not led astray. Very important, because somebody very strong is going to be around you and telling you something, trying to like kind of pinpoint you and redirect you from the path that you don't want to be on, and that person has got a very strong energy, and it's not a good person because they don't care about your life necessarily. So this is someone that you need to pay attention to, because that person will try to kind of lead you astray from what you want to do. This is your life, and you do what you want to do. This is the only way to live this life, by doing what we want to do, what our soul, our spirit is guiding us and telling us, and that is the way to make the most in life, indeed. Okay, my gorgeous people, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you all. Bye. Mwah.